Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Lunchline Podcast, man, the greatest podcast you never heard. Hey, man, y'all know how we do it here, man, on the podcast. We are all about information. We all about growth. We all about understanding, man. And I'm all about group economics, man. So when I talk about that, I actually mean that, man. And I got a special guest here with us today, man. My man, Accumulate Jake, man, from go ahead and introduce yourself. I want you to introduce yourself, man. This is this is my guy Jake. So Jake, man, tell me a little bit about yourself, man, your history and your experience with crypto.
Man, first, I want to say thank you for having me on your platform, man. It's an honor.
Absolutely.
Anytime anybody ever, reach out to me and want me to come on, I'm gonna come on because I'm just an everyday person like a lot of your listeners. And I just carry myself and move a certain type of way. My name is Accumulate Jake, is what people know me as on Instagram and Discord. I'm originally from Mount Vernon, New York. I've been residing in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area since 2006. Prior, military. So I'm a veteran.
Okay.
And yeah, man, communications is what I did there. And I've done engineering, I've done cybersecurity, I've done electric work, I've done cable maintenance and antennas work.
Jesus,
so
man. How many years were you in the military?
I did 4 years active and 4 years inactive. So
okay.
I did the shortest amount of time I could do to qualify for everything I needed to qualify for when I got out. And I got recruited out to be an engineer. So that's kind of how I transitioned out because, I could have re-enlisted and then that's a whole story in itself. But I ended up not doing that. So yes, sir. So I did 4 years and I'm really big about, cryptocurrency, group economics, for us, by us, any means necessary. Don't believe what you read, what I'm saying? You got to do a lot of reading of a lot of different diasporas and individuals and outlets before you can hopefully start to piece together some of the truth. I've been through a lot in my young life, so and I'm still currently going through a lot in my life. I'll be feeling old, man. We was just talking about that before you got out.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Like I'm definitely feeling it, man. Like I feel like life is up there, and I'm like, man, is this the stress that I see my parents go through? Is this what they was talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like
this is what they was talking about.
It's coming full circles, man. So it's a real interesting space, man. It's a real interesting time for sure. So for my listeners, man, Accumulate Jake, man, he's a part of the Sunday crypto sermon. Which
sermon Sunday service.
Yeah, for sure. Sunday service, which is not your typical, it's not gonna be no tambourines and nothing like that. It ain't gonna be ain't gonna be nobody shouting God at you. But I am actually a member of myself as well too. So it's a place, man, where you guys are sharing a lot of crypto knowledge, like a lot of real game. It's very transparent, man, which I love. How did the whole foundation of the Sunday service come about?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. So prior to crypto service, I created this brand, organization, company, whatever you want to call it, with 6 other individuals called UTW, Uncle Tom's Wheelhouse, which it was something I had on my mind for a while, the name at least. And I was, planning on naming a business that at some point, because of Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom's Cabin and the misconception of what an Uncle Tom is, one of the individuals that is one of the founders with me, I know that Jay Mitch knows for sure, is my homie. I call her H-God, but that's Hannah, aka Bunansky, on Discord and IG as well. She's my partner in UTW, and she's my partner in Crypto Sermon Sunday Service.
For sure.
How it came up.
Real quick, shout out to Bunansky real quick. We're gonna go ahead and give her a big shout out.
Give her her plants, man.
I call her Queen Boo. I call her Queen Boo. I don't know. It's just a name that stuck. I just been calling her Queen Boo since I first met her, but I've
been calling her H-God since I first, not first met her, since about 2-3 days after I started calling her H-God, hand to God, man, because she was making so many things happen And
Yeah.
I was like, this lady got to work for, you
Yeah.
know, a certain organization. And I found out she didn't. I was just baffled. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't hire you.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is before, I don't know exactly around the time that you guys started building Uncle Townsville House and also the Sunday service. But I was telling her, I'm like, yo, like, I don't know what it is, but you just seem like you can just like, you know how to get shit done. Like, you know how to make things happen. And I'm telling you, like, it's something very unique. And I like to consider myself somebody who's good at, you know, a judge of character. And I was like, yo, like you got it. So yeah. So I can see where y'all connected, man. And you know, once I seen y'all two connected, I said, oh, it's gonna be some solid things happening there for sure.
Yeah, I'm good at seeing, you know, what I like to think, like you said, people's talent. And I saw it immediately, man. I saw the organization skills. I saw the passion.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the honesty, the integrity, everything that, you know, you want to deal with as a business or just a friend before business. And she believed in me, and my character and everything I stood for. And what it was is, to answer your original question, Crypto Sermon came about because given what was taking place in the organization that we all were a part of,
right?
I didn't, and Hannah didn't feel good. We didn't feel good as a collective, because, you know, it's me, Hannah, and 5 other individuals. Like, you know, having this business that was that would be membership based at a certain price point that we knew was worth the value, but we knew a lot of people that might be looking at what we're doing had what people call trauma or just a bad taste in their mouth. And I couldn't bring myself, and Hannah couldn't, to charge a certain fee. So I stepped back, man, and I'm really good at being creative. I feel like that's one of my gifts. You know, I've always been creative, thanks to my mom and my dad, and just the era I grew up in, and really the era my mom grew up in really affected the era that I grew up in, which is, you know, the mid late 80s to early 90s, or all 90s. Just my mom grew up in New York when New York was considered the murder capital of, you know, America. And my mom, look, one of my children is crying right now. Look, I'm about to have to be in daddy mode.
Nah, man, do what you gotta listen.
Bro. Hold on one second, bro. Hold on.
I'm not tripping, man. Do what you gotta do.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large.
So you can edit that.
Nah, you straight.
Leave it in there.
Listen,
leave that joint in. Leave that joint in. But listen, I just had to tell you.
I'm gonna tell you how you better than me, because I wouldn't apologize. I'm like, did I just tell you to sit there? Like, bro, it would have been.
Nah, because I didn't know how what level I was gonna have to take it to, but I didn't have to take it crazy. Anyway, I digress. So, anyway, the era I grew up, my mom really, when I was young, she didn't really want me outside like that.
Okay.
Like, but my dad, you know, my mom and my dad together my whole life. So, my dad at least got me out like for like baseball, and then my older brother played baseball and basketball when I was a kid. So I got out via my dad and my older brother. But besides that, it was school, bring your ass home. You could look out the window. Don't be in the blinds. Don't be, you know what I'm saying? You might, and I just developed an imagination. So that's a little more background to me. But what happened when UTW, you know, we were building it up. We started to pump our brakes when that other organization kind of started leaving lasting taste in people's mouth. And I was just like, dang. And then really, what really made us come to a stop with pushing that out immediately was my cousin, who's a branding marketer for a living. She does really well for herself. She came and did a free, you know, workshop with us about our brand. And she's amazing. And she just was like, y'all gotta stop. You don't want to make these mistakes in the beginning. You can do them, but it'll create a lot of turmoil for you later when you gotta fix them as you're going along rather than fixing it up front. Okay. And I really appreciate my cousin. Shout out to Ashley for that, because Ashley Richardson, she's amazing because she blew us away. We had a meeting. It was me and H got at first, and then we recorded it on a Zoom so the other founders of our brand could watch it and just hear what she was saying and what she was trying to tell us. Like, you know, we need to always know certain things that would have helped that other organization that you, I, and Brunansky are a part of. I don't know if they really did that they didn't have this sit down that we had in the beginning. So we stopped there. But, you know, I had already been doing crypto before any organization I had joined as a member. I was already in the crypto and trying to use my little platform on IG to just educate our people for free.
Okay.
So that was always going to be my main lane for our business was crypto, along with my guy Cartier Shanks, Marco. We were gonna just spearhead that, and I just had this idea, man, because my mom went to church too. Like my mom was like, she worked for the church. My mom was the church secretary, but she wasn't like your typical holy roller. Like she was a little different, right, in a good way. But I just got exposed to the church all the time. Like I got to see how it worked, and I was like, man, you know, I'm not a person that goes to church now. I could care less about that. But I just grew up there and I got to see a lot, and I got to see how our people gravitated to it and how they were able to pull our culture into it and really be diehard church people. So I said, well, if you go and spend your money at regular church and sermons and Sunday service, and they take your tithes from you,
absolutely,
and they don't really give you much back, we can do a play on that, and we can, you know, we can have crypto sermon where you could come here and congregate in a fellowship and worship, whatever, not worship, but fellowship.
And you know what, and like
about something.
And I think that's what's dope is the fact that, you know, and I got my whole belief about church as well too. And I've spent a lot of time being a part of a congregation. So I understand how church works as well too. And I understand like the ins and outs, the concepts, what's great about it, the flaws, like the whole nine. So so just to revisit the UTH, man, and I want to reiterate this, like the Uncle Tom's Wheelhouse. So when I first heard the name, I was like, Uncle Tom's Wheelhouse. And I was like, damn, like it's kind of captivating, but I'm like, I gotta see what the hell this is about. So like, I'm like, so why? So my first thought is, you know, why Uncle Tom's Wheelhouse? I'm like, okay, they already sound like my kind of people because they don't give a damn. They willing to ruffle some feathers in the strike up a conversation in a very untraditional way. So that was my first inkling. But how did everybody agree that this would be the name?
So, I thought of the name, man. I thought of the name. I had the name in my back pocket, so it wasn't hard for me to like present it. But you know, the people that are involved is, you know, my guy, I'll just give their Instagram handles. It's just easier that way. Kick Barter, Hollywood Crypto, Valley Stream Consultant, which is like my cousin.
Okay.
Sha 7, which is OG.
Yeah,
you know, OG,
no shot.
Another UTW. And H God and Cartier Shanks. You know, like I just built relationships, man. I'm like I knew that everybody that I just mentioned had something really great to bring to our people that, you know, I saw that was maybe not, I saw that it wouldn't affect the other organization that had, you know, brought a lot of us together. I was like, oh, well, they're not talking about any of these things. That's good. Like, we're not ruffling no feathers with that. We're not stepping on no toes. We're just filling gaps. We're adding value where they might not be able to right now. They're not thinking about that, which made sense.
Right.
But I just presented it and everybody loved it, man. Everybody loved it. I came up with the logo. Then H God did her version, and we ended up using. We got both versions, and then we developed the crest, which is really the ultimate version where I sketched that up because I like to draw. You know, hand draw. I don't like doing shit on the computer. I like with a pencil and a pen.
Old school.
And the name came from the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, and you know, in our culture, we all call a person who is a quote unquote sellout or brown noser or ass kissing white folk, Uncle Tom.
For sure.
But in actuality, Uncle Tom is actually the good character that's looking out for Black people. It's Sambo who's the one that is the sellout and kissing the white people ass. Absolutely. And Uncle Ruckus and all that other stuff that we do. But you know, you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth. So now you know you've heard it plenty of times in movies, television, reality. Oh, you just an Uncle Tom, and we know what the connotation means, in the sentence is being used in, but the ignorance is just so bold in your face. It's kind of like white people be laughing their ass off because they made you hate the character that you should love.
That's a prime example of how, like, us as a people, like we don't we don't do our research or we don't do our due diligence to really find out the truth behind anything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We take something and we run with it. And that's one of the things that has got to stop, man. Like, we have to fact check everything. Just because we've been lied to so much, even with each other, I think it's healthy for us to fact check. You know what I'm saying? Just to ensure what's truth and what's not. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that everybody's on the right plane, man. But I was one of the guys who did not know of Uncle Tom and Sambo and the true history behind that. So you can imagine, like, my mindset once I found out, I said, ain't this a bitch? Like that?
Yeah,
like we've been definitely lied to. So I did a whole episode a few weeks ago about the Sambo Society and how there's just so many people willing to sell us out for what they believe to be the greater good, which is necessarily not true at all. So definitely, man, like, I love the name. I just want to say, like, I absolutely love the name because
thank you.
This shows that this is an organization of people who are really down for the cause, who really understand history, and who really have a focus as to where we need to go as a people in the crypto space. So let me ask you this. In what ways do you feel, because your background is crypto, in what ways do you feel like crypto can revolutionize the Black community that can really help us where we are right now?
Great question, man. I would say this, man. A lot of people play on this in our culture, right? In Black culture, melanin culture, whatever you want to call it, African American, which we're not, but that's a whole nother conversation as well. They talk about this gap. There's this gap between, wealth of Black people and wealth of white people and Hispanics and Asians. There's this massive gap, right? That we haven't, quote unquote, been able to close. And they give us all of this nonsense about how to close it. Stock market, savings account, money market, CD, and all these other things that they get us to buy into. Be a rapper, make it to the NBA, or that's like playing the lottery, as Dame Dash would say. Right. That's actually worse than a lottery, I think. Maybe something like that, number wise. But you can't close the gap with those things. Like the way I try to explain crypto to people is the stock market is ran by rich old white men that are already multi-millionaires and billionaires, right? So they literally only need a stock to go up 3 to 5%, to really have a bag of money. If it goes up 10%, that's like ungodly amount of money to make. And that's over a year. They don't even need it to do it in a day. If it does it in a day, that's cool. But over a year, if it goes up 10%, that's phenomenal off $1 billion in the market. Like, that's a win for them.
True.
So why would any Black person who the mean or median Black, salary is probably, I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say less than 40,000, but I'm gonna be generous and say 40,000. After you got expenses, taxes, and lodging, home, you really ain't got that much to invest in any stock. So you're gonna be at that job for 30 years, just to try to have maybe $1 million in the stock market. Maybe you might get lucky and get more. You might get unlucky and have less, but that's crazy because you're only getting maybe 5% average, maybe if you're lucky, on that stock market, right? And what about the bad years that are looming for the stock market for sure? And then there's this thing called crypto, and in crypto, 10% is nothing. 30% is nothing. Like 50% days are normal for sure in a bull market. Like a bear market is like 5% days, 10% days. That's considered bad. Like, and it'll fluctuate or go down. So crypto, in my opinion, can revolutionize, Black people and allow us to get some taste of the freedom we always been striving for. Because if we stop putting our money into, liquor first, Jordans first, whatever bags women like first, or hair and nails first, what else do dudes like? Dudes, rims on their car, crazy ass jewelry first, right? And we decided to pay ourselves first by paying crypto, and we just waited. I did an episode on my IG with Mansa, and I did some math, simple math, on if you would have invested the same amount of money per year in crypto that you could have did in life insurance, like whole life insurance, you would be able to get the same policy paid out upfront and have way more money if you just put that same yearly price into crypto.
That's crazy.
Right. It was just
crazy.
Like, so I think I did the math at like you would have had to put $1,000 a year into crypto. No, I think it was 5,000. I think it was 5,000. 5,000 a year for 5 years, right? To get maybe like $1 million policy or something like that. I'm gonna say $1 million. It might not be that much. It might only be $500,000 policy. And I picked like 5 coins, right? And I said we're gonna start in 2018 when the market was down. By now, which is 2021, that's only 3 years, you would have already gotten that $500,000 to $1 million off of just putting the money in for 3 years. You would already got it. So you would have put in 15,000. You could have took out all your money, never touched your initial investment, because all the coins in crypto that you would have, tokens, I should say, or coins, depending on what, you know, if it's a network or just on a network. The ones I picked, I think I picked like a Cardano. I picked BNB, Cardano, which these projects were around in 2018, right?
Right.
Like they were affordable and you could get them. I didn't pick no project that just popped up. I had to pick projects that existed. I didn't pick XYO, even though XYO did exist. I didn't pick XYO because that would have been hard to get. But I picked like Cardano, BNB, and I might have said XLM. Did I say XLM? I can't remember what I said. I can't remember the third one. But just those two alone, Cardano and BNB, you would have be on both of them. You probably be at like no less than 30x, maybe higher on each of them. So you would have 30x your 5,000 and your other 5,000 on those two projects alone, 30x.
So wow. So what you're saying is that
that was a long ass answer too, bro.
Right? No. I thoroughly appreciate it because you know it's better to over explain things than to under explain anything. So what you're saying is that, and I got in crypto around probably 2018. I think I tore my Achilles and I had time and I heard about Bitcoin and Litecoin. And I was like, what the hell are people talking about? So completely ignorant to everything. I was really intrigued by it. So jumping in.
The other coin I said was Ethereum. That was the other third one. Ethereum. If you would have been buying consistently throughout those years, that's what I did. My bad. I just thought of it because you said Bitcoin, Litecoin, and you didn't say Ethereum.
Yeah, I didn't say Ethereum. The big three. My fault. Those are the big three. That's the round. That's the Mount Rushmore of crypto. Is you got Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin. Arguably. So what you're saying is that people can essentially invest their money in crypto, which in the long run would be a better play than investing your money with a life insurance company or a life insurance policy.
Or the stock market, anything. You would have been better than anything. You would have outperformed all of that off of those 3 coins I listed, and I listed the last one thanks to you. BNB, Binance, right? Ethereum, and what's the other one I said? Sheesh. Cardano, right? And I actually gave an average price of what you would have paid for each one of them, right? An average price. So I think average price of BNB would have been under $20. Right. BNB right now is like $500. It's been as high as $600, right?
I remember
you can do the math when I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
You would have paid an average price of 5 cents for Cardano. Cardano is down right now. It's $2.20. Yeah. Okay, you could do the math on that. That's already 40x, over 40x, because 5 cents to $2 is $5 to $1 is 20x. And then Ethereum, I said you would have got it at an average price of about, I would say $200, maybe less, maybe more. And now it's at $4,000. Y'all can do the math on that. Like, I'm not making these numbers up.
It's astronomical, man. So, but here's my thing though. Like, why do you think like, because us as Black folk, we hesitant on anything anyway, and we always late to we late to everything. Barbecues, like, I mean, you name it, we late to every damn party or every damn venue.
Facts.
Why do you think we're so afraid or so intimidated by things like this?
It's systematic, and it's been programmed into our DNA. Like you and I and everybody that's listening or watching, I don't know how this works. You're the supercomputer. You're the computer that your phone is mimicking. Everything is mimicking the human body. Human body is considered the most efficient creature on Earth, besides a plant, right? But we're mobile. Plants aren't mobile. So we're the most efficient mobile creature on Earth, allegedly. Meaning we burn 67% of what we consume, meaning the other 33% is waste or something like. I learned that in like biology in college or whatever, right? So everything is trying to mimic us. Your car, the way your combustible engine works, your electric engine, everything is trying to be more efficient or as efficient as us. We're the benchmark, we're the apex, we're the omega in creativity, because humans make these things that we utilize, right? So we're very vain as a being, right? We want everything to mimic or match us, right? We're consider ourselves the shit. And what was the question again, bro? I started talking about that.
No. I was asking.
I'm listening to my kids.
I was asking, why do you think like our people are so hesitant or so afraid to jump on them?
Man, listen, man. When you got kids, man, we talk about this. We can
talk about it all day long. I know.
Yeah. So I'll be listening. I'll be like, wait a minute. Man, I'll be in that toilet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be right back. You know. So
nah, man, it's cool.
We are always late because for lack of information, our people perish, right? Like,
true.
We don't have the information readily available, and the programming is very, very specific to get us to behave a consistent way. And if you even pay attention to the things that we like as culture, you can see it, right? It's so easy. Like the minute you step out of the cardboard box that they constantly have us in, and you get an aerial view and you get a view underneath of it, and you decide, you're like, this can't be real. Like this is, we keep falling for this shit, but it's very, very consistent. They're consistent with that shit, man. Like they're consistent and we're inconsistent, right? Meaning, you know, we don't realize we make trends and we follow them heavily, right? So we make a trend, we follow it until a new trend comes out and we forget about it, right? And we like all this excitement because it's psychological too. Like for a long time in this country, we weren't allowed to have shit. So once we get shit, we want to enjoy it. We want to be known that we got it, because for a long time and even now, we're not allowed to get anything. And we're always ill-informed, and we're taught to turn on each other like that. Like we're taught to turn on each other like that, man. And we're taught to believe anything that white people publish, speak out publicly, manipulate. We're all, I got a friend, man, and I won't say his name because it's not about his name. It's just something that me and him have had this conversation, and we talk about it because it's real. So it's not like he's oblivious. I could say something to him and he'll hear it, but it won't be validated until a white person says it. That's just what it is. Like, you know, my guy, NFT Monta, was talking about NFTs for a minute. And then all of a sudden, like Gary Vee and Mark Cuban were talking about it. Now it's the biggest shit in the world.
Right.
And he was talking about it this time last year.
Right. He
was mentioning and tell people, and he was really making a big push towards the end of last year into the beginning of this year. And people wasn't hearing him. He was practically trying to give away, he was giving away NFT game for free. And he was trying to get people in a project that could have made them like a 4 or 5X without even trying.
Yeah.
And I don't, I listen to him because, I respect him and I know how long he's been doing what he's been doing on social media. And that's just it, man. It's just like for lack of information, our people perish. Like we don't have information.
You know what else? You know what's crazy? Crazy about that, man. And not to cut you off, is that we subconsciously don't realize that we do that. That we need everything that we learn. We need it to be further validated by somebody we deem quote unquote credible. So
I'm gonna tell you too.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, you go.
I just don't like. You know what's crazy is I think about the What was that? What was that last coin that took off that went crazy? The media, was it Dogecoin? Dogecoin, right?
Doge. Yeah, that was a setup.
I had a main hustle, but I had homeboys hitting me up that was asking me like, "Yo, how do I get in? How do I get in Dogecoin? Like, what's the concept behind?" And it's mainly because of the trend of the wave. Instead of looking at it from a standpoint of, okay, there's a way that people are making millions of dollars off of this thing called crypto. How can I insert myself into this to make it work for me instead of the hype of one coin? and how can I put money in and get the hell out of Dodge?
And that ties into the culture, right? The brainwashing, which is we always thinking about a hustle.
For
hustle
sure.
is something that has no longevity, right?
Right.
So you're trying to get in and get out. But white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, they not really trying to get in and get out. They trying to get in over time, build mad wealth, and then slowly siphon it off to the point where they don't ever have to pull out a big clump until they done made so much money. Whatever penalties, taxes, or fines, or whatever they got to pay is a joke to them. Right. And they probably not going to do that because they're going to find another way to take that and slide it into another asset to dodge and avoid these things. Right. Mm-hmm. And Doge is funny because when I first came in crypto in 2016, 2017, right, there was like not many Black people that I came across talking about it. And I wasn't on Instagram. So I can't blame Instagram like that. I was only on Instagram for my book, but I would go on YouTube. And the only dude I can always say was consistent that was Black is Trevon James. Shout out to that guy. Trevon James is a legend in crypto.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the first guys that was around for the Bitcoin.
Yeah, he made a killing. He's actually getting like, scooped up by the SEC and the FBI and the CIA and all these people because he
must have got a shit ton of
because they want to blame him for something that happened back in 2017, 2016 called Mount Gox when this exchange collapsed, and they want to act like he was one of the proponents. And it's like, bro, like he was just doing what anybody does now with Coinbase and Abra and Robinhood. He was trying to share his link, telling people use my link to buy Bitcoin, right? So I can get free Bitcoin, you can get free Bitcoin, right? It's not his fault that shit, he didn't own that fucking thing. It's not his idea that I know of, right? And he had money tied up in there a little bit, but I know he got out early just because he's paying attention, right? All that being said, I remember watching him, and I remember watching a bunch of other people, a lot of white dudes. And I remember I watched this one white dude a lot. He probably was my age at the time. It seemed like maybe even a little younger. And he would just tell so right there, he would go on his computer and he would show, oh shit, let me check this coin. I forgot I own this coin. Because he would just throw money at coins, because when you got a lot of money, you throw money here and there at different projects. Like that's how it works. When you got a little bit of money, you don't really want to do that. That doesn't really work well because you can't throw a good amount at each one, like $100 at each one. He was throwing like 1,000 or 5,000 here because he had made a lot off of Bitcoin and other projects. So he had threw some money at a Doge, and Doge didn't even come close to a penny. But Doge went up whatever, and he heard about it, and he ended up making like 300K off of Doge. And he was just like, selling half, bought himself a G-Wagon and all this other shit. And then he said, you know what? I'll leave the rest for the next bull run. And at the time, I didn't know what the fuck he meant. But now this bull run, I understood what he meant, because you see what Doge did. It broke past the penny and matriculated on up to like 65 cents or so, right? But the funniest thing about Doge, you can fact check me too on IG. I saw that Doge play for everyday people early. And I told people between a penny and 4 cents. I told them at like a penny and a half, because I got Doge at like a penny. I got Doge at 0.013 that morning.
Damn, really?
And this was, on Robinhood too. I did it strictly as a money play. I don't give a fuck about Doge. And I called my boy up and I said, yo, bro, tell everybody you know to get in some Doge right now on Robinhood. Because this is when AMC, they were screwing AMC and GameStop people. They were screwing people. I said, they want to screw people with that? Slide your ashes into Doge. I looked at the chart. It's going to make a run. And I just predicted it was going to go to like 20 cents. What they did was they stopped it from getting past like 7 cents or so. Then it came back down to 3 cents, 2.5, 3 cents to 6 cents. And it stayed there for like a month. And then there was so much pressure hitting that resistance wall that they created. It was a false resistance wall that when it broke through, that's when you heard everybody talking about Doge, right?
So you're saying
organization.
So hold on, let me get this straight. So you're saying that Robinhood was manipulating the chart, or what were they doing?
No, they were manipulating the ability for people to buy it and people to get out of it at the time, and mainly buy it. Because I was telling everybody, I went on IG and told everybody, yo, I was walking my dog. It was snowing, frigid, and I told people, yo, I'm telling y'all, going Robinhood is easy, because I knew a lot of people had Robinhood. A lot of people didn't have Coinbase. A lot of people, Coinbase didn't have Dogecoin. They couldn't go to these other exchanges. They had no clue. But I said, Robinhood, boom, right there instantly, you could buy a Dogecoin for pennies. And I said, put $50 or $100 in, no more, and just chill. And people that heard me out or knew about it made money. Everybody, they never lost. They never lost. And I told them, wait a month. I said it should have happened that week. It should have went to 20 cents that week. So you could have 20x that week. But what they did is they did what they did. They did what they could, which is they hit the button that made it so it couldn't place an order for you. Yeah. And people that might have tried to get out, they didn't let you get out at the high price. They made it until it came back down, and then you could have sold. Right?
So I'm gonna say this to my people real quick. Listen, y'all. Based off of what you just heard that Robinhood can do, I mean, I'm this isn't. I'm not trying to give out life investment advice or anything like that, but you got to be really careful, man, with a lot of these, with some of these platforms that you hear shit like that.
Coinbase could do it too. Coinbase does it too. Coinbase does too. So you want to understand that these apps aren't real exchanges, right? Like KuCoin is a real exchange, right? Right. Like BitTrue is a real exchange. Like real exchange meaning they got so much volume, it has to be a massive sell-off for you to get screwed. Like I've never had issues on any of those platforms I just listed getting out of a project. Like never, like not one time. I've had issues on Coinbase. I've had issues on Robinhood. I don't think I had issues on Webull at the time ever, but I didn't have no crypto there and they didn't really let you buy really any crypto yet. But just be mindful, like those people are in bed with the stock market and the stock market rules them and they don't want to piss off their daddy pretty much. That's their daddy,
You're talking about Robinhood, Coinbase.
I'm talking about Robinhood, Webull, any of these stock platforms, like any of them. I don't care who they are. They all answer to the SEC and the financial institutions and the big accredited investors. Accredited investor is somebody that can prove that they have $2 million in the bank or that they've consistently made over $250,000 a year for like 3 or 4 years straight. That's what an accredited investor is, right? Understand that word because it gets thrown around a lot and people don't understand that. And that's another thing that the stock market does to our people, which I said why we can't ever close no gap doing the stock market. You can close the gap with real estate, but guess what? They systematically make it challenging for Black people to get real estate, not nowhere near as much as other things, but it's still a little trouble. You gotta have a steady job. You gotta show that you can afford it. You gotta show bank stubs. You gotta show good credit. These are things that in our culture are hard to do. Hard to have a steady job. Hard to freaking not have a hit on your credit, anything bad, derogatory on your credit. It's a possibility, and there's a lot of Black people that do have it, but there's also a good portion that don't. So you gotta look at that, right? Like it's very, very tightrope walking. Now you got this thing called crypto, right? And I brought up the real estate market just to let you know, I feel like real estate and crypto are very similar, but real estate takes a lot longer still, right? Real estate was the way that white people built massive amounts of wealth in this country. That's the way that Asians built massive amounts of wealth. This is the way that Hispanics have begun to step past us because of real estate, right? And they have these things where they'll go get a house, 4 families will be in there. That's a woman and a man and all their kids, and they'll ride out and be in tight quarters for 3-4 years, stack up. They all work in the same job, and then in no time they all got another house of their own. And they was able to group economics, right? They were smart. We got all these standards. Oh, I don't want no roommates. I don't like that. We got all this psychological shit that other cultures look at us like we stupid. Like, what's wrong with y'all? But they also don't have the trauma that we have in abundance, right? So I get it, but I also get the ignorance of it, right?
You know what else is crazy is that when you mention that, like the group economics and us actually living together and how other cultures do that. We taught in the hood, most families, we taught, you get 18, you hitting the fucking door. Like you gotta go, you gotta make sure you got a job. And at 18, I didn't know jack shit. Like I didn't know jack shit. I didn't know nothing about nothing. So there was no way, because I wasn't well equipped to function out there. So instead of Black families making the sacrifice and saying, yo, we all got the same last name, we all share blood. How about we just buy 2 houses, 3 houses, we stay in close proximity, we figure it out, we make sure everybody's debt is paid off, we make sure everybody's credit is good. We do it together as a unit. We make sure that everybody's credit is established. We work on our business credit. We do whatever we got to do to make sure that our family is successful. Instead of doing that, we argue and fight and feel like, and that's why now I believe that so many black people are like, yo, this is my shit. You know, I worked hard for this. We don't know how to work together on anything because we taught or indoctrinated from early age to get your shit on your own.
We hate each other. We despise each other. We want to run away from each other, man. And I'm big on my kids, teaching them that, all 5 of them. I got my niece, my niece here right now. I got my niece all the time. My niece is the mainstay at my house. Like, that's like my 6th child or whatever, right?
Right.
And my other niece used to be the same way when we lived way closer, or she would come all the time because I wanted what you're saying. I wanted them to be, even though they gonna fight and everything and this, that, and the third, but y'all got stick together, be used to living together or being around each other.
For sure.
So what you just said can be the thing, and that's not something that happens. Like, we might have our cousins and stuff like that, but like you said, we get to a certain age, boom, I'm leaving you, leave me alone. I'm tired of them.
Yeah, I got my own place. I got my own keys.
And a lot of cultures don't do that. And even if they feel that way, their culture is so ingrained to them that no, you can't leave until you make sure everybody's good.
Shit's crazy.
Leave.
Yo,
it's not crazy. It's,
I mean, it's crazy in the good. It's insanity. It's insanity because it's great that they do that, but the fact that our culture doesn't see it the same is paralyzing.
On purpose. It's on purpose, man. And then our culture will, moms, because I kind of, not from my mom as much, but I just see it in other moms in the cultures, Black culture. They'll baby their sons and be cutthroat with their daughters, and then they raising their sons to be dependent on them instead of their sons to be men. And that's not all the time the mother's fault, because a lot of moms end up losing dads for various reasons, right? And a lot of dads end up becoming numb to the system that has made them out to be the bad guy. So they just be like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't really genuinely feel that way. They just are so numb. They're so adapted to what is going to happen that, you just build up this wall. And I know that from experience in my oldest son. And I just know it. And I know it from friends. I just see it. And I grew up with my mom and my dad my whole life. My best friends had their moms and their dads. So it's not like I got a bunch of friends that didn't have their daddy and it's cool to me. This shit is not like that. It's just systematically designed to never create structure and consistency, the way you just said, right? And we were talking about crypto, and I like crypto because it taught me even more discipline. It taught me more structure. It taught me more about group economics, right? It ingrained those further from the books by Dr. Claude Anderson and Amos Wilson and Elijah Muhammad, all these books that I read, from all these different minds, Think and Grow Rich, you know what I'm saying? Rich Kids by Tom, I forgot his name, Tom Corley. I've read a lot of books just about finances, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Like, I just was telling my wife, you need to read it. And she got it and she's reading it. I was like, you should have been read it. I've been telling her about this book for years, right? And my cousin's dad put me on to this book. He put us both on years ago. And I've read it like 3 times. I've given away Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But you just see the culture, right? Like, the American culture is disease infested with sickness and dependency on government heavily, right? Heavily. It's about dependency, because if I control your drip, I control you. If I control the faucet of means and abilities and finances and freedoms, you always have to come to my faucet. For sure. Right? A lot of other cultures in their government regimes or whatever, however, it's different. Like, they still got their culture. Like, and that's another thing that people don't understand. Like, we don't know our culture if you are Black, quote unquote, American. You have no culture really beyond slavery, because they told you was stolen, but that's not true. You're not stolen. They just bombarded you, tricked you, broke you up, and made you weak because, you separate fingers, they break. You put them together as a fist, they punch a hole through something, right? Like, so they separated your families. They put mom and child over here. They put dad up there. They put child down here, mom over there. They just did all of these different things to the natives, the aboriginals, which is us. And that's it. And then, like I said, in crypto, knowing all this information that I have found out separately, it just made crypto so easy for me to relate to, even as a Black dude that I didn't see many Black faces in it. I said, yo, this is it. And then the craziest thing, I would see white dudes in 2017, 2018 go and do conferences and get on stage in crypto. And they would say, Black people, if you are trying to really get free and make headway like no other, this is the place for you to be. Mm-hmm. And this is the only time Black people wasn't listening to white people for validation, which was crazy because this was the time I was like, yo, is anybody seeing that they're actually telling the truth?
Yeah.
These white nerds, are telling you the truth, but you want to listen to politicians, law enforcement, quote unquote, your local newsman or your familiar face on TV and radio, or whoever, right? Or whoever Black people have put their arm around, like he's okay. Like, nah, man.
Right.
These dudes are just as disenfranchised as you in their own way because they were the nerds. And I grew up watching the movie Revenge of the Nerds, and it was funny.
Yeah.
Because my brother put me onto that. And as a Black kid, it was one of the movies that was clearly all about white dudes. Right. That we related to. Like, it was easily relatable to my brother, who's a super athlete, wasn't a nerd at all. And me, I was a little, I stayed in the house a lot more. Maybe I could have been considered. I wasn't really a nerd like that. I wasn't into computers, but it just was like, yo, they're getting treated like we get treated, bro, by white people. Right? They're getting bullied around. They're getting talked down to in the movie. And I always just was like, relatable. And then crypto came along, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is it. And I missed Bitcoin in 2014 just because I didn't want to educate myself. I could have got Bitcoin at $200, $300, and I didn't.
Let me ask you this. So, as far as we know crypto is here to stay, right? And you see in the media, it seems like, CNN, Fox, NBC, they'll get some quote unquote credible source to get up there and say stuff like, or try to dismiss crypto, or try to make it seem like it's a hoax or it's a scam. Oh man, they'll try to discredit it. I know you get fired up over this. And on the back end, they probably, they storing the coin, they buying the coin, they investing heavily.
I'll list two people right now. I'll list two famous people. Jamie Dimon is the CEO of Chase.
Absolutely.
He shitted on Bitcoin for like 4 or 5 years straight, only to find out that Chase was building their own onboarding for Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this other shit. And the other person that's bigger than him is Warren Buffett, who called it rat poison squared. Yeah. And then only to find out he created Circle and what coin? I think USDC coin is his coin. He created
USDC is his?
I think it's created by his or created by his foundation. He's affiliated with it heavily, among other crypto. He owns Bitcoin, he owns this. And it's like, bro, like, motherfuckers will lie to your face on camera multiple times and then say change up present day and act like that shit is not time stamped and recorded and somebody got it. And they'll be like, if you show, first of all, it's funny that nobody ever shows it to them. Number one. Number two, if you did show it to them, they'd be like, they would make it a joke. Well, I'm wrong sometimes, but you affected the lives of millions of people because they value allegedly your words.
They sure do.
Right? They value your words, and you told them not to touch something that they could have been in at 200, 300 yards in a second. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by get me going, because I could give you two people right there. Off the bat,
I know.
And people swear that these motherfuckers are legit and Warren Buffett is the man. Like, black people, excuse my language, dick ride Warren Buffett so hard it make me sick, bro. I'm like, yo, man, like, just because Jay-Z sat, like, why is it cool that Jay-Z got this? Oh, I never thought I would be. And I respect Jay-Z, right? But it's just like, yo, man, when are we gonna stop wanting to be sitting at the table with those people on some validation shit? Like, they only doing a photo op so they could get they're doing data mining. So they're taking your core group of people that would never know about Warren Buffett from the streets, that don't give a fuck about Warren Buffett. And Jay-Z's gonna bring them because you like Jay-Z. You're gonna watch the interview, and then Jay-Z's gonna hug up on him or smile, do a photo op. And now his core people are gonna go and fuck with Warren Buffett more than Warren Buffett's core people are gonna go and fuck with Jay-Z. Way less of Warren Buffett's core following fuck with Jay-Z than the other way around. I guarantee you that. Right. They're playing the numbers game, and they're pilfering, they're data mining your core people.
Yeah. Exactly. It's another back end hustle. And I saw that shit from Rip. I said, man, and I come from the banking industry, so I understand. And I remember when Jamie Dimon did that, and I was like, come on, man. Like, we all understand that banks aren't stupid. They're aware of what's going on. They understand that crypto has created this revolutionary market that is changing the lives of people, you know, day by day, year by year. It's really changing some shit. And they had to figure out a way, the best way that they could, and they still can't stop it. So my next question for you would be, as far as stages, as far as if we had to, I guess, kind of measure where crypto is, what do you think it is? Where do you think it is? Because, you know, some people believe, who are listening will probably believe like, yo, crypto is too far in front of me. I can't catch up. I can't afford Bitcoin because it's $60,000 a damn coin. How can I make it work for me? So it's a double question. How can people right now make crypto work for them in just a really simple way? And also, where's crypto on the scale as far as economics right now? Like, where do you think it is level wise?
So I'll answer the question about where it is right now based off of people that are smarter than me, that have been saying this for a while. Like, it's like I say it's in the toddler stages. Most people say it's still infantile, like it's just crawling. Okay. And the reason they say that is, if you compare it to the internet was around before we even cared about it. It's like 20 years, bro, before we even gave a damn about it, right? Like, before there was AOL and like, it was around. The internet had been around since like the late 70s, yo. Like, it was around. And people were messing around. And then the 80s, people were definitely messing around. And then the 90s, you started seeing the movies really about it, like the net. And then they said, all right, let's give it to these people now in like 96, 97. The internet had been around for 20 years. Now you can't live without it. We're doing this we're doing this interview or this podcast because of the internet,
because of the internet.
Like, everything is because you watch TV with it. And I don't even got cable. We got internet box and streaming platforms. And they laughed at that at the time when it came out. The crypto is like, the stock market been around since the 1800s, and it's getting, and it really took its boom when World War II ended, and then it took its boom again when they allowed the internet stocks to get on it, and then they have a boom right now because of like the Tesla and all this other shit, robotics, AI stocks. Think about that. You think crypto is going anywhere, man? It's so early. But the thing about being so early is there's so many horses in the race. It's like the car industry. There used to be all kind of car manufacturers in the early 1900s. And then they got gobbled up by the bigger ones. GM started buying up everything. Ford started buying up everything. Certain ones just started inching their way, you know, ahead till they just made some space. So that's the thing that is happening right now in crypto is nobody knows who's going to win. That's what people always say. You don't know who's going to win. Right. And that's why the Warren Buffetts wanted to call it rat poison squared. Right. Because these motherfuckers don't like to lose. They like to win.
And when you say win, you mean as far as leading the pack versus other crypto?
To the top, like Macho Man said, right? Macho Man said the cream always rises to the top. But you don't know who's the cream because it's so wide open. Like, it's new shit literally like every other day there's a new coin, easily. When I came in, it wasn't nowhere near this much coins. Now there's a coin every other day. You're hearing about a coin that's enticing. And then a lot of coins are saying they're going to do the same thing as a whole bunch of coins that already exist. And people don't even realize that. They just get caught up in hype. Right. You know, so I answered that first question about, you know, where are we now? To answer your second question, how does a person, you got a lot of time. One of the best ways to do it is dollar cost average. It's consistency. $50 every week, $50 every other week, $100, depending on your pockets, right? I had this thing in crypto sermon where I have crypto kids, even though we're not kids, we're children. I know kid is a goat, but it sounds better. Crypto kids, it just flow better. Right. Where I try to tell people ways to get extra income without really getting another job to invest in crypto. Cause I did it myself with my own children, which is if you in New York or some of these states where you get cash back for a bottle on recycling day, you go and you snatch up the bottles before the garbage truck come or before the next person come, the homeless person come, you take them to the machine, you might get $5, $10 back every other week for free. And you put that in the project. And there's projects out there sub $1, sub a penny that are good projects that are gonna have running room. You can ask Jay Mitch separately. He'll tell you, he's been in crypto sermon. He'll know that I've mentioned plenty of projects that are good projects that have already done well and will continue to do well under $1. In the stock market, those are called penny stocks. Penny stocks are real dangerous in the stock market because a lot of them aren't going to do well. But in crypto, a lot of penny quote on stocks are going to do really well just off a share coming to the party super early and being toddlers or infants. They're going to still get to kindergarten. They're still going to get to at least first grade. We're not even in first grade yet. So some of them might start getting left back third grade, sixth grade, but you're not there yet in crypto. So if you understand that, well, they're going to let you enroll any kid in school, and then they'll determine if they think they got some learning disability or whatever you want to call it. Like, that's the same thing with crypto. They're not even in school yet to be considered deficient in something. So everybody is, now there's some projects that are just like, don't even mess with it. But that's where you learn, you educate yourself. I tell our people all the time, motherfuckers know how to use Instagram, YouTube. My dad know how to use Facebook, right? My dad like 80 years old, bro. This dude learned how to use Facebook in his iPhone, right? Why? If my dad could do that,
my dad did the same thing. Yeah,
right. So then, so that's a lot of energy and effort, right? He didn't learn it in a day. It took time. Yeah, we could take that same time to learn about crypto because everybody wanted quick.
You learn what's important to you. You learn what's important to you. You absolutely learn what's important to you.
I told that to a lot of people, bro. A lot of people don't like hearing that shit. Yeah. But I tell them all the time because I had to make crypto important to me. Yeah. Because I ain't know shit. And I didn't have no black people coaching me up.
You know what? You know what's crazy? And I worked in the cell phone industry as well, too, for many years. And I would see people come in, and I'm going to just use black people. I would see black people come in who swear up and down they didn't know how to use this. They didn't know how to do this. They didn't know how to log into the email. They don't know how to send a text message. But you would ask them the one question, and it was a universal question, and it was the same consensus across the board. No matter how many times I asked, was like, "You have Facebook?" Like, "Oh yeah, I got Facebook." You know how to operate Facebook? "Oh yeah, I mean, I know how to go in Facebook." And you're like, "Well, damn." So you take energy to learn what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's really simple. So I would say this because I know you got a million different cryptos that you can probably give to people. What are 3 just simple projects that you would suggest for my folk to list to check out and research themselves and possibly invest in to get started?
I'll probably give more than 3, but I'm gonna try to just do 3. Just because I'm gonna tell everybody these are just suggestions, right? Like, I'm not a financial advisor or whatever they say, but I'm just a black dude, right? That is passionate about crypto and done all right in crypto for myself and my friends and family. Everything you buy, you need to be buying something that you would buy at the price it's at now, and then you would buy it if it went down. Okay. Because it's that good, right? That's something that people should know. If you see the price go down, you shouldn't be crying. You should be clapping like, yes, right, it is cheaper. I can buy it now, right? Right. And one that I've told people time and time again, and I won't change this no time soon, every black family should own Polkadot. Polkadot is, to me, is a no-brainer.
So Polkadot. Okay.
Polkadot. It's not cheap though. It's like, I think it's at $40 now.
I remember when it was $9.
I remember when it was $9 too. I didn't buy it at 9, but I bought at 10.
I was like, 16, damn, like
15 and 14.
I remember, man. Like, I remember seeing in my early crypto stages, I didn't know what the hell was what. So I'm like, $9. I was like, nah, that's just a little too rich for my blood. And and not understanding, like at that time, I didn't understand percentage. So definitely, like I remember when it was $9. But I'm gonna let you go ahead. So Polkadot's
it's a long-term project, Polkadot, and you can get that on Coinbase, right? You don't even got to do a lot of work to get that. Just set up a Coinbase, and I believe any area to include New York, you can buy Polkadot. Another project I think people should own that everywhere but New York you can get it is XYO. That one is at like 3.5 cents. I was telling people to get it at fractions of a penny. Yeah. People that's in crypto sermon that listened to me today, I mentioned it there. Made a killing off of that, and I wasn't even planning on that. I was hoping it was going to stay subdued still a little longer, so people could get more at a good price, fractions of a penny. Now it's at 3 cents. You at least 3 extra money. Most people about 4 or 5x from when we spoke about it then. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 3, just because they did something that they always been doing something that just stood out to me, and they come from the Ethereum tree, just like Gavin Wood dude that created Polkadot is Cardano, ADA. You can also get that easily on Coinbase. I wish people, would have known about ADA, or this interview would have happened about half a year ago or before, when it was like 30 cents, 20 cents. But hey, I still think Cardano is a project that you might want to hold in your portfolio. And I'm gonna give y'all some more because I keep telling people this. I've been saying this for a long time. Gaming is gonna be massive in crypto. Gaming.
Yeah,
right?
I've been waiting to see who's going kind of merge.
So right now, this joint just came on my radar. So it's not just, I'm lying. I already had this coin, but it got re-put on my radar. So I'm buying more, right? Because of what is being put on my radar is Chili's. So it's CHZ. And you can buy that on Coinbase, I believe, everywhere, maybe except New York. You can get it on Coinbase.
You said CHZ?
CHZ, as in zebra. Charlie, Charlie, what is H in phonetic alphabet? A hotel, Zulu.
Okay.
Is it?
I'm not military, so I have no idea,
Chili's.
but I got you.
It's called Chili's is the project. It's another gaming token. And then I'm going to tell you one that this is the only coin that I've got thrown at me recently that I have never heard of. And it's called Hacker. D. Simmons actually brought it to me. He's a crypto sermon person. He wanted me to look at it.
Okay.
And I said, yo, that joint look legit. And I grabbed some, and I should have grabbed some last night. I would have already doubled my money. Hacker. And I'm going to mention it to the people in the sermon as well. So they'll get to hear about it before I guess you push this up. But Hacker, HAKA is the name of the ticker. I think the project is like Tribe something. Okay. I forgot the name of the project. So that's another interesting project that deals with NFTs, but it's something smart that I heard with NFTs. And we know we had NFT sermon. Last sermon, I talked about NFT. If you was in that one, I don't know if you caught it.
I didn't make that one.
Oh man, that was a lot of people like that one. Yeah, I talked about NFTs in a way that nobody talks about it because I was tired of.
You know what's crazy is I asked you a few weeks ago about NFTs, and I was like, "Damn, like I'm kind of sorry that I missed the shit now because like I'll give you
the quickest thing.
That was gonna be my next question: is what the hell just I know you can elaborate extensive about it, but we're gonna simplify it for our people to make it understandable.
Our people.
What the hell is an NFT?
NFT is a non-fungible token. It is a token that is not the same. My token might have the same name, but it's not the same as Jay Mitch's token. Our tokens are different, even if they have the same name, right? Now, if Jay Mitch has Cardano and I have Cardano, it's the same exact token. It's the same exact price. Right. It's the same exact price. I could have an NFT called Stay NFT 2, and he could have Stay NFT 1, and I might sell my Stay NFT for $300, and he might only get $200 for his Stay NFT, right? Okay. So it's not linked to one specific price, the NFT, right? Now there's projects that have tokens, related to them that are NFT projects that have tokens, but the NFT itself is not a token. It's an NFT, a non-fungible token. It's artwork or a picture. Okay. But it's more than that. It could be a car. It could be a lot of things. That's what I talked about. But the biggest thing I said was NFTs is going to start fucking people up because they're going to start taxing people crazy. And they're already starting to do it on these networks where NFT was supposed to be a decentralized thing. And they're trying to centralize these platforms. And you got to fill out paperwork if you sell it for a higher price and pay taxes on it now that you made the come up. That's what I talked about. Nobody ain't talking about that. Everybody telling you make NFT and do this and do that and do this. But nobody's talking about when them royalties start really kicking in, that now these tax people are trying to get their piece because they don't want you to make money without them making money. That's just the name of the game. They bullies, right? So I touched on that, and I touched on you could NFT your house, right? You and your wife build a house, or you and your lady, or you by yourself, or anybody. I'm talking to anybody, not just Jay Mitch, right? You build up something, a house from scratch on some land. Mm-hmm. You not only just sell it, you sell it as an NFT. So that way, you did all of that labor. You had all that vision. Somebody comes in and just resells your shit, and you only sold it for $100,000. And it only cost you, $75 to make it. You made $25,000, whatever. That you feel good. And they fuck around and sell it for $1 million. You gonna be tight. Like my shit was worth $1 million. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Now what happens is you're gonna still get a piece. You're still gonna get a piece because you NFT that property. So it's an NFT attached to it.
How? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're saying that
you can do that. You just got to be smart about it, but it can happen.
How in the hell can you sell your house as an NFT? Like we're talking about a
it's real. It's got to be because NFT
real
is
livable house.
NFT is real. It's a real digital thing in the digital world.
Yo,
See, that's
crazy.
the thing. I be really like frustrated with our culture because they tell us make an artwork or make a song, NFT it, right?
Right.
You can be the NFT as the artist, meaning you can make, I said this to people mad times, make yourself an avatar.
Okay.
Do your performance, loop it, and now you can do your performance 50 times a day at $1 in that crypto. It's on a loop. It's a great performance, but some people missed it. So they could come in as they want. It's on a loop. You only had to do the performance great one time, and you're getting paid in an asset that not only is a price at the time, but can go up in value later on. So you can make a killing. And then people like Kevin Hart, Chris Brown, Tory Lanez. Kevin Hart travels around the world doing comedy. Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle could just NFT himself one time, geo-block it, like they geo-block you from using certain exchanges or getting certain things in certain locations. Geo-block it where anybody in this area can pay to see my NFT comedy show today.
Just by being in a certain oh wow.
Just being in that location, right? You're in that location, and it's gonna be it's gonna be the same performance everybody else gets to see in the other location. And you only got to pay $1 instead of having to pay $25, $40, $100 for tickets to go to a venue during COVID or just in general. Who got $100 when you got a whole bunch of kids, right? But you want to watch Kevin Hart and get that experience, put on your VR headset or sit back and watch that joint on your, your phone or your computer. And it's like, damn, like this shit is fucking hilarious. And I feel like I'm there because I'm right up on them because everybody sits front row when it's an NFT. When it's an NFT, everybody sits front row.
So it sounds like NFT gives you the control to
limitless
control to kind of do whatever you want as far as, so I can be, so just to add some perspective for the folks who listen in. So I can be a car collector, right? And I can say, okay, well, I want to sell this car. But this car comes with an NFT, which gives you access, like it gives you lifetime access to all of my auctions to allow you to be the first bidder or some shit like that. Like I can do something as crazy as that.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. You could do anything. You got lifetime access to my actual garage for this car because this is my baby and I know it needs to be tuned a certain type of way. Right. And then as long as I'm here or my sons are here, anybody works for me, you pull up to the garage, you come right in, we figure out your problem. And then you can sell your car in that NFT to the next person. And guess what? You're like, cool, fine by me, because you're going to get a piece of that.
That's crazy.
You're going to get your 5%. You're going to get your 3%. You might get your 1.5%. And each time you can change the percentage. Maybe the first 3 times you're getting 5. And then after that, you'll take 2%. Or you might say the first 5 times you're getting 20%. And then after that, you're getting 3.5%. It's up to you to bake in that price.
Right. So you can do it however you want, man. That's it. Because, everybody, when Tory Lanez made that million, like, the internet went bananas. And everybody was going crazy. And, I thought it was dope that I'm thinking, why don't more artists do it like that? Like, why in the hell are we?
He was forced, though. He was forced. He was forced. He was forced. He was put in a position where he had no choice but to think outside the box and get around people that brought shit to him because he wasn't talking about that shit before. Now he's going NFT crazy. But the thing I say about Tory Lanez, and I told people, somebody tell Tory Lanez, tell Chris Brown come holler at me because you think Tory Lanez did it big. The artist is going to do it big is the artist that did what I just said, that avatars themselves, makes them move like them, makes them look like them if they want or look crazy, but everybody knows that is digital Tory Lanez. Right. And they make themselves do a crazy ass performance in a studio with all the cameras, catching all the angles and the movements for their avatar to move like them and take that and then geo-place it in different locations. And then every once in a while, maybe the first 10 people in each location get to actually meet Tory Lanez in person. Motherfuckers will pay out the wazoo, and motherfuckers will not have to pay out the wazoo. It'll be only $1 or $5 for tickets all the time, and they'll sell hundreds of thousands of tickets every time that they do a show, and they'll never have to leave their crib. They got no overhead. Yeah. They don't have to pay the venue no more. And guess what? You can have links within the digital world that take you to the shop where you can order the merch that people gonna buy at the venue anyway, the t-shirts and all. Like, this shit is, and you can have digital merch for the people that have their own avatars to wear your shit in digital world and advertise for you. Like, people not even thinking about this shit, man. When I hear our culture and the people that claim that they these NFT people talking all this shit, I'm like, man, y'all not even telling our people the truth. And that joint frustrates me because I care about our people, man. And I just see lack of understanding and information.
Absolutely. Like it's disappointing, man, that we always be so damn far behind the 8 ball, man, with shit. And I'm just thinking about it, like the concept, and you kind of got my mind going. And I'm thinking like, well, damn, like if Beyonce wanted to do
she's a great
digital
person.
concert, like if she said,
She'd
I
kill
want to do a digital concert, NFT based, the amount of money and reach that she can have.
And guess what? You won't see her do it no time soon. Because the minute she does it, it's over. The industry is fucked now. All of these, who's the one that does all the venues for the artists? I forgot the name of them. Live Nation. Okay. Live Nation and all of them, they're going out of business. Because guess what? I don't need you. And guess what? All these arenas that double as sports arenas, but they also do shows, they're fucked now. Yeah. Because now who's going to fill their stadiums on off season? Or when the players aren't playing? When there is no football, basketball, baseball season, what are they going to do with that point, bro?
As far as I'm concerned, man, the people been the ones getting screwed for forever. Yes. As far as black people. Yes. So it's time to take back, man. It's time to F them over in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to screw them over the same way. Like I don't personally, my mindset is like, I don't care if they suffer. They can suffer and burn to the ground as far as
I just told that to my dad like earlier this week. I said, Dad, I could care less about how white people feel about anything, to include me, you, or anybody else that looks like me. I don't care their opinion. As long, like I told people this a bunch of times, as long as you don't kill each other, you don't rape no women or children or harm them, I don't care what you do or how you do it. Right. I can't say nothing about, you don't hurt each other, you ain't gunning down each other, degrading each other, you ain't taking advantage of our women and children. I don't care what you do, how you do it. There's nothing I can read, there's nothing I can see trying to slander you that's gonna make me be like, yeah, you got him. I'm just like, yo, man, like,
straight up.
Let that person free, man. Let that person free, like, because I've seen white people get away with some crazy shit for a long time, bro. Personally, and in mass media, just to watch, like I seen Bernie Madoff did that shit for like 30 years, bro. 30 years, and they caught him at the end allegedly, and he got to stay in like a resort type hotel and die like he was already over the hill, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you took the prime of his life. Meanwhile, Cassius Clay got the prime of his life snatched away for standing up for something that was legit and true. And then later you want to act like he's this great humanitarian, white people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You hated him and then you claimed him as our greatest hero.
Absolutely.
Crazy shit, bro.
And I was saying the same thing, man. I was like, and I was saying the same shit about Kyrie. Like, they're going to persecute him now.
Yep.
In 20 and 30 years, when the 30 for 30 ESPN thing come out, Kyrie was a libertarian. He stood up for his rights. He believed in something.
My last live, I said the same shit. I said Kyrie Irving is the closest athlete in modern times to be compared to Ali. Yeah. Not that he's nowhere near on that level.
Absolutely.
But no, and this is why I said like Muhammad Ali is the greatest because of that shit. Because he didn't care. I told people on my live, I said, y'all talk all of this, you care about people or religion, our people, our culture. I say, y'all motherfuckers don't worship no God, and you don't care about people, you care about money, and you worship money. Because the minute they start messing with your money, you do whatever, you cave in over money. You cave in over money. It's proven, right? It's proven, it's tried, it's true. I've had back and forth with my own daddy about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just telling him, Dad, like, you bugged out right now because you just admitted what I've been telling people, which is New York is the ones not letting Kyrie play. The NBA supports him, right?
Exactly.
I said if the NBA really supported him and he was really one of their own, they wouldn't be playing no games in New York because they're not treating one of their own right. But guess what? They got too much money in New York marketplace for them to say, nah, they're going to say, bye, Kyrie. Yeah. Same thing Cam Newton. Cam Newton was my guy. I love Cam. And Cam just said, I take the backs. Let me play again. Fuck the NFL, Cam.
Yeah.
Fuck the NFL, man. Fuck you already did enough. You probably ain't going to get back too far. Nobody's going to really treat you the way you want to be treated anyway. Why sell you out your belief and take that vaccine?
That's
just to play.
That's my whole nother. Listen, that's a whole argument that, and I'm always making that argument. It's like, why in the hell are we living in this mindset? And listen, y'all. I know y'all. I appreciate y'all listening. Thank you for tuning into the Lunchline Podcast.
Appreciate
I'm here with my
man.
guy, Accumulate Jake, man, and we giving a lot of game today. He's giving a lot of game. Like I'm really thankful. But I just want to say, like, I always talk about why in the hell do we feel the need to be integrated and included in everything that they do for some sort of acceptance? Like we haven't earned enough money. We haven't we don't have a mindset to where we like, well, damn, like we don't need it. And this goes to the NBA as well, too. Look, I know they run things. I know they had contracts. I know they got billions of dollars, but the NBA is nothing without. You take Kevin Durant, you take
66% black, I think.
You take these Giannis's out the league. You think the fans aren't gonna go where those people are?
Bro, I said this to my dad. I said, Dad, I'm more disappointed in Kyrie's quote unquote friends that I said, I understand the players that come off the bench or just came in the league. Yeah. They haven't made multi-million dollars off of actually playing as well as contracts and right. But I said LeBron, AD, KD, James Harden, Giannis don't count because he's not even from America, so he think he Greek. That motherfucker African as fuck, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other players, man, right? Like, I'm just naming those 4.
Right.
And I'm gonna say that 2 of them, for sure, they say they like Kyrie, right? Russell Westbrook, I love Russ, but I can't believe how none of these people said, I'm not playing either until y'all let Kyrie play. And then it just started a trend. Because
they would have crushed that whole fucking, that would have crushed the whole thing.
It would have crushed everything.
Everything.
Nobody would have watched that shit. If you would have seen a domino effect from Kyrie, then KD, first of all, the Brooklyn Nets would have fucking caved because KD and Harden didn't play.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Absolutely.
So now Brooklyn is done. They out of everything at this point. Then you go down and you run down to the West Coast, and half that team is done because LeBron, no matter what his difference is, he's really saying Kyrie's his little brother.
Yeah.
If my little brother don't do some shit, I ain't doing some shit either. Yeah. If I know that we both got, we made enough money that we should be good.
Yeah.
Now you start going and you start hitting the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry. And I'm trying to think. I don't watch basketball, so I don't know everybody on every team anymore. But you start hitting these franchises.
Like DeMar DeRozan,
Derrick Rose on the Knicks, and maybe some of those other guys. And then whoever's on Detroit right now, they got younger team. But established people that have been carrying the league just said, we ain't playing either. I got nothing playing either. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I violated my contract. Too bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it. Like, too bad. Like, what you gonna do? Throw me in jail, motherfuckers? Like, what y'all talking about? Guess what happens now? Shit start changing. Shit start changing real quick.
Overnight.
Shit start changing real quick.
Overnight.
That's the same thing that was baffling me about Kaepernick. I was like, yo, the funny thing with Kaepernick was nowhere near as big at the time as Kyrie is right now.
Right.
Kaepernick was kind of on a decline a little bit, or just stagnant. Maybe not declining, but just stagnant. Kyrie is still like top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10. And he'll sauce you up top 5, probably, from what I know, right? So I'm just sitting there like, crazy. Like and they know this about us. We fold on each other all the time over money and finances. And other cultures do not do that shit.
They won't.
Right? They do not do that shit.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give it some connections. If the NBA or the NFL was 70 to 80% Hispanic, and
good one.
Look, if they were 70 or 80% Hispanic, you know, you and I both know goddamn well that if you would have mistreated one of their brothers, they would have damn near burned the whole damn league to the ground. They'd have been like, nah, we ain't going for this shit. We ain't going for this shit. The solidarity is something that they stand on. The brotherhood and family is what they stand for. We don't stand for those same things because we can be bought out. We can be threatened and we can be bought out.
Because we have no connection to one another because they stole our culture, man. That goes back to what we touched on earlier, where I said systematically, if you're a Black American, you really are the most disenfranchised person on the planet. No matter what anybody says, because at least other people know where they come from. At least they have their lineage to trace back very, very far. And we get caught in this muddy water where we got to try to figure things out. And then you find out that you're not from Africa. You're a fucking Chickasaw or Blackfoot or Cherokee or Seminole or Apache. You're all of those tribes are us, right? And that's a whole nother topic, but I just throw that in there because not knowing that is how they're able to do what they do to us, because you only can start where they tell you. Like, you came from slave ships. You don't even know who you're a Carter. Right? Mitch, right? Mitchell is your last name?
Yep, Mitchell.
Maybe? Yep. Mitchell, right? He's not a Mitchell, yo, and I'm not a Carter.
Exactly.
He's not a Mitchell.
Not at all.
And I'm not a Carter. But guess what? We walk around. LeBron James ain't a James.
For sure.
Kyrie Irving ain't a Irving.
Right.
Durant ain't a Durant. Look, a Harden ain't a Harden. Giannis ain't a He might be a Giannis.
Antetokounmpo
might be
Antetokounmpo.
It's definitely who he is.
That's Greek, so I can't even tell you.
Is that Greek or is that African?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I just know he's Greek.
I think Antetokounmpo is African.
He sounds
is
African,
from Greece.
Yeah,
no, it's African. But like you gotta, and that's the funny thing that you see populating into the leagues though now. The NFL and the NBA are starting to get populated with European whites and African quote unquote blacks, right? And that's funny because it only makes sense. Even the UFC, Africans are starting to take over the UFC. No disrespect to them, like they dope, they deserve it. Like there are brothers from the South or the West, whatever you want to call it, right? But it's just telling to just see it. Just like the NBA, in the NFL, they trying to make white dudes move like black dudes. In football and in basketball, if you watch, a lot of the wide receivers are becoming white dudes that move like black dudes, right? It started off with Wayne Corbett back on the Jets back in the day.
Remember. Mr.
And then
No
you got
Gloves.
Wes Welker. Then you got Wes Welker. And then now you're starting to see the dude that plays for Cooper Kupp. You see the dude for the Vikings. And you also are starting to see a lot of the tight ends are starting to be white, predominantly white dudes that are athletic. Kelsey, like pay attention what they do, man. They and I think it's funny because I think what really would be irony is if we had our own leagues. Jay Mitch had his own goddamn team. I had my own team.
Bro, we had
a bunch of white boys. We had a bunch of white boys playing for us, but a whole bunch of black people sitting front row with their legs crossed.
Thank you.
Talk about honky go.
Man, you wild.
Or that basketball. Nah, bro, because guess what? They wouldn't like that shit.
Yeah.
They would feel away. And guess what? When I looked at the NBA, because I don't watch basketball, I put it on the other day because my dad was here and it was the Knicks. So it was easier for me because I'm from New York originally.
Right.
And I looked and I said, yo, they use COVID to get a majority of the black people out of the front row. Because black people don't like taking that vaccine, right? So if
is that one of the rules in the Garden?
And you cannot go to any establishment in New York City unless you have a vax card.
Seriously?
So the only black, I swear to God, restaurants and entertainment places you can't. That's why Kyrie Irving can't play in Brooklyn because Brooklyn is considered a venue. He has to have a vaccine and have proof. And he's like, I'm not doing that shit. And I say that though to say, I looked and you know what I'm saying? Usually you're going to see a lot of white people in the front row anyway, just because they have more capital in this country than us. But it was a very noticeable difference for me as a New Yorker.
Right.
Like you still see Spike Lee, you still see Tracy Morgan. I think I saw ASAP Ferg, and that was about it. And maybe one other black guy. And that was it. I could count the black people. Easy. Like it was like no more than 5 in my opinion. The rest of the panning of the screen, white people in mad rows, just mad white people, bro.
Yeah.
They want their shit back. That's what they saying. We want our shit back. This was not for y'all to be here unless we say you could be here.
Yeah.
So you got to do some shit that we can't deny, and we'll let a few of you in. Yeah. Pay attention, man. Same thing at the fields. They're gonna start doing at the football fields, man.
Well, look, man. Look. I really appreciate you taking this time out, man, tonight.
For sure, bro.
And having this conversation, man. And I know we can go on shit.
I'm gonna give you one more crypto.
Yeah, give me one more crypto. One more. Listen, this is love, y'all.
Lossless. It's called Lossless. The ticker is LSS. Lossless. Lossless. And guess what? That got put in front of me by another orca, which is what we call everybody come to the crypto sermon. Miss Shanice Watkins presented that to me. The other one that I gave y'all was V Simmons that, asked me to look it up. People ask me about coins and I listen to people, man. I don't think I'm too good to hear anybody out about a coin unless I already know about it. And it's not that I'm too good. I'm like, leave that shit alone. I'm like, I already own that one. That's a good one. But Lossless is another project to look into because it is going to make a lot of businesses DeFi, decentralized finances, feel more comfortable moving money around through crypto because it'll freeze anytime a hacker tries to take the money out of the crypto platform, which is always a scare for DeFi. It's like hackers can attack it, move the money around, and people get lost, get their shit lost. But this project is freezing that shit. Like, nope, hackers trying to take this shit, not gonna happen. And just think about that, man. That's like life alert type of shit. Like
that's incredible.
Nah, you're not. Yeah. So, and I mentioned that actually in the crypto sermon like 3 weeks ago. People bought it when I mentioned it. You'd be up like 4x right now.
Okay.
I mentioned it when it was 40 cents, I think, or 29 cents. The shit is at like $1.90 or something like that, bro.
Okay.
And I still think at that price, it's a good project to be into. And I know why people aren't talking about it yet, because they don't want us to talk about it. That's the thing. You got to be around people in crypto to learn about crypto and get into shit, right? Because you said we be late to the party, but we be actually going to these other things ahead of the time. We be knowing about the right kicks. We be knowing about the right music artists. We be knowing about the right venue to show up, the right club. But motherfuckers don't know shit about crypto. Now we just don't apply our same sense to this sector. If we did that, we could make a killing, and it won't take no time. In 5 years, you could close a wealth gap that would take you 30. Right? So now you got white people having no choice but to see their face in places. You know what I mean? So my bad, man. I know you straight. But I had to say that because that point was one I meant to mention.
Do me one last favor, man. Go ahead and plug all your socials, and how can people get connected with the Sunday service, man? We
Sunday service. So crypto sermon, Sunday service. I always tell people DM on IG or Discord if you have that. Boonansky, BOONANSKI on Discord and IG. That's her IG handle. She's the gatekeeper. She's the one that keeps me accountable and keeps everything organized for what we do there. And then on IG, I'm Accumulate Jake, ACCUMULATE Jake. I don't know if I have an underscore in there, so I think I got an underscore in there, but you'll see me, man.
I'm not really sure.
I think I do got an underscore after the accumulate underscore Jake. That's my handle on IG. That's where I be for now. And if you know what I'm saying, you want to learn about crypto, you interested, you could always, reach out and ask me directly, how you get into crypto sermon. We do that every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then we have a bonus that we do on Tuesdays for newcomers to crypto called Crypto Study with my guy Ephraim, a young, bright black dude from Buffalo who is just, doing his part, trying to help people learn about crypto and what we do for beginners, just beginner things. Like I talk about a lot more in-depth things. He keeps it real beginner for most people, like wallets and exchanges and just real understanding in a simpler level for people so they don't get uncomfortable. And then I'll tell everybody this, it's $5 if you pay 4 Sundays up front. So it's $20 for 4 weeks or 4 Sundays. And that includes the crypto study as well. So you get 2 of those every week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then if you just want to come one time, it's $10. And I already was allowed to say this, so I'll say it to y'all people that are listening. We don't keep none of that money. We actually invest it for you.
Word.
People. So we never spend a dime for ourselves. We actually been investing it in crypto the entire time. We plan on giving it back to people in a crypto, probably not all the cryptos we invested in because that'd just be too challenging. But whatever we got, when we decide, we're waiting for everything to try to be in a good position and people get their money back. So you actually getting paid to learn. And I don't know too many anybody that really does that with their membership. Most motherfuckers is all about taking money from the people and pocketing it. So group economics, y'all.
Yo, well, listen, man. Look. Again, I really appreciate it, man. And there y'all have it, man. Like, tap in with Accumulate Jake, man, and definitely Boonansky on IG for sure, man. And if you're trying to learn crypto, man, this is the place to go. This is the place to be. I've sat in and I've been a part of a few Sunday services, man, sermons, and I've learned a lot. It's a lot of game being given out. They breaking everything down from A to Z on how to learn, on how to get about crypto, learning about projects, what to look for, how to do your own research. If you want to learn crypto and you really want to get ahead of the curve, man, because as Jake said, crypto is still in its early stages and it's not too late to get in and it's not too late to really start making some real profits, man, outside of the stock market, outside of all these different other investment avenues out there, banks and all of this shit that hasn't really done much for our people. This is a way for you and your family, man, to get ahead of the curve, man. So I would implore you and I would encourage you to definitely tap in with Accumulate Jake, man, and Boonansky, man, and be a part of this Sunday. I
appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Hey, man, bro, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
I'm humble. I appreciate everybody listening and watching. Keep listening to Jay Mitch, man, because he's
appreciate it.
He's doing his thing, man. I didn't even know he had his joint going, man, but I like the way it is. So I'm gonna have to start tuning in on whenever he puts it up.
Every Fridays at 12 p.m., man. That's when we drop, man. I didn't do one. I didn't. Every Fridays at 12 p.m., man, I talk my shit and I get up here, man, and I'm all about Powernomics, group economic, man, and about learning.
Man,
and sharing
Powernomics.
man, come on, man,
book.
don't give me. See, you about to see. Here you go.
Get that book. Hey, and I'll tell you this: crypto sermon, Sunday service is not about doing what I say. It's about developing your own strategy so that you can go out and fish for yourself and teach your family to fish. Right? That's why we call each other orcas. If you know anything about an orca, orca is very self-sufficient by itself. But when you get a group of orcas together, don't nothing in the ocean want to fuck with orcas. Go look it up. Orcas ain't no joke. Apex predators. And it's about everybody being an apex predator separately, but knowing how to come together, communicate, and not be trying to like step on each other's toes or have any kind of ignorance or arrogance towards one another, just working together. And that's what you find in our platform, our chat, our Sunday service. That's what it's all about, man.
And
like
what's the saying that you say? What's the mantra?
Oh man,
go ahead and drop it on.
Man, hold on, man. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I if you build it, they will come. Yeah, man, you can put me on the spot. You can hear me, bro. You put me on the spot, man.
Nah,
dirty.
I love it, man.
I know it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have it written down in my notes because I always say it, but I try not to memorize it because I don't know. But let me find it, man.
You good?
That's my joint. Where's it at? Oh, right here. If you build it, they will come. If you treat them well, they will share. If you change their lives, they too will believe. And that's the mantra I say at the end of every crypto sermon, y'all. And that's how we carry it on our end, and that's how we hope that others can take that and apply it to their own life wherever they want, and just live that way. Because if we do that, we start making it real hard for these other people that been treating us bad.
100.
My entire life, you know what I'm saying, and my dad's and shit like that. So that's how we do it, you know. Just build, believe, share, and they too will, you know, follow suit. And that's just what you got to do, man. So
look,
that's what it
is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it, man. Y'all heard it from the man himself, man. Check him out, man, on all them socials, man. I'm definitely gonna tag you in all these videos and everything. So
I appreciate it, bro.
They gonna flock. I'm gonna make sure that they flock, and I'm gonna make sure that they know, man. I'm sending people wherever they can find the right information, man. And what you guys are building is definitely a place that I'm gonna stay tapped into because I'm not exempt and I want to learn more. Because I fumbled a lot of bags in crypto. I didn't know.
Listen, fumbling crypto bags, y'all.
Yeah.
Part of crypto.
Yeah.
Forging in the fire, y'all. Like don't feel bad if you fumbled a few bags. Like that's war stories that you need to make you a better warrior. Yo. Like for real. So join the club, man. I fumbled the Bitcoin bag. That's the biggest bag fumble ever, bro. Like
I don't even want to hear about that one. Don't even tell me about that. That's just too much to take right there. We already know. Yeah. Man, this is the Lunchline Podcast, man. Thank y'all for listening, man. Y'all take care, and we're gonna do this again next time. Peace.